Well, 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 what do we have here? This is the Ridstar Q20. This is one of the coolest and cheapest e-bikes that you can buy. You can get this bike off of Amazon for about 800 bucks after shipping, but is it good? Let's review it.
808s held down like a paperweight. She just wanna come around, but I made a way. Want my money, need it now, want a paper chase. Make the bass blow out with the 808s, out with the 808s, down like a paperweight. She just wanna come around, but I made a way. Want my money, need it now, want a paper chase. Make the bass blow out with the 808s, out with the 808s.
In terms of rideability, the Ridstar Q20 is probably one of the most comfortable bikes I've ever sat on. But it's got really good suspension. The brakes on it are super awesome. However, and I don't know if maybe this is just because I dumped the bike like pretty quick after I bought it, but the suspension on mine is kind of noisy. So maybe if you're not a fan of noisy suspension, or maybe if you ride without music, that might get a little annoying after a while. But it actually seems like it would take upgrades pretty well, especially because the placement of the battery is right on the frame, so you can adjust the battery bracket and everything. So that would be super cool. And the controller is actually mounted right here under the seat. So you can even take the controller out and mount a new one and make it more powerful if you'd like. So, what are my initial thoughts on the Ridstar Q20? I definitely think this is a great option, especially if you're like going to college, you're on a college campus, or you're living in a more urban area. This is perfect for anybody trying to get around and any riders who are just trying to have a good time. I think this is a great option, and for not a lot of money. We do have a hub-centric motor. We have our 7 gears from Shimano, and we do have a nice plastic fender that covers the top of the tire. I decided to leave the plastic fender on just because you don't want your back or anything getting splashed, especially if you're wearing a backpack, and it further protects the controller up there. Farther back, we have this really nice long seat, very comfortable, very squishy. I test rode this bike for about an hour maybe, and I didn't get uncomfortable at all. This seat is fantastic. Moving back to the tail end of the bike, we do actually get a pretty nice LED taillight that actually comes on when you squeeze the rear brake. It's very cool, especially if you're riding on the street. It's very helpful, and it'll keep you safe at the same time. And something that I think is really cool is it does come with a license plate mount. So if you want to register it and take it as your regular day-to-day vehicle, you can totally do that. On the frame, you do have these white graded steel pieces. They might look like plastic, but they actually are made out of steel, and that is because they are designed to protect the suspension, the rear shock, and the controller. Moving down the center of the bike, you can see that we have this pretty sweet saddlebag. It can hold an iPhone or a smartphone of any kind in there, and there's actually a pretty solid amount of space inside for you to keep your keys, wallet, anything else that you might need to put in your pockets. On the bars, we do have these very interestingly shaped flared grips, which at first I wasn't really sure about, but they actually provide a pretty good purchase for your hand. I've got medium-sized hands, but this is actually quite comfortable. Moving on, you do have all of your driver controls. So you do have your horn, your light, and you have this really nice digital display that shows you your power, and you can increase and decrease the level of the pedal assist and throttle control. And when the digital display actually comes on, it'll show you how fast you're going, how many miles you've traveled, and what gear speed you're in. Moving on to the right side of the bars, we do have a half twist throttle. We do have this nice key ignition. We have your Shimano 7-speed gear changer. Very nice. Don't mind the scuffs there. I actually dropped the bike almost as soon as I finished building it, so don't mind the scuffs. Don't look at that. We do have these pretty awesome knobby fat tires. They're not too aggressive, so you can still ride them comfortably on the street. We have these really nice disc brakes, pretty similar to what you'd see on a Sur-Ron. Moving up, we do have some pretty nice front forks with full suspension. They are a little bit squeaky, but it's not too bad, especially if you ride with music. Moving up, we do have a really nice LED headlight. When you purchase the Ridstar Q20, you do get a full tool set. So just in case you don't have your own tools, they provide tools for you to build the bike. So that's pretty awesome. So you get a couple wrenches, Allen key set. You get the battery, which is a 48 volt, 15.6 amp hours. So a pretty solid battery capacity there. You get the charger, You get an extra brake rotor. You get the front fender. I chose not to put mine on just because I think the bike actually looks cooler without the front fender on there. And then you also get a handlebar phone mount. So also, again, kind of a random thing to put in there, but I guess if you decide to take the saddlebag off the bike, you can still mount your phone on the bars. So that's pretty cool. So, final thoughts. If you're looking to get into e-bike riding like myself, and you're looking for an affordable option that you can still have fun on, and still kind of be a little bit of a head turner when you're riding, I think the Ridstar Q20 is a perfect bike for you. And the fact that it just looks cool is super awesome. Anyways, stay tuned for the first ride and first impression coming out soon, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.
If I die, I know the truth is forever.